Hey everybody, I'm Xinfonia and welcome to my pre-release Aglaea Kit analysis. All of these videos are done with Theorycrafting that was checked against in-game damage numbers to make sure they are as accurate as possible. Firstly, let's go over a kit so you can understand what she does and what I'm going to be talking about later. Aglaea is the first 5-star limited remembrance unit, and like all current and future remembrance units, her kit revolves around summoning a unit, in this case Garment Maker. With her technique, Aglaea can quickly summon Garment Maker and allow them to attack at the start of the battle. This regenerates 30 energy and I believe 10 additional as well because the Garment Maker also attacks. This will also apply Sim Stitch. Normally, only Aglaea's attacks apply Sim Stitch, and what it does is that when the Garment Maker attacks, it will prioritize the enemy with Sim Stitch, and whenever it does hit the enemy with Sim Stitch, it will increase its speed by 55, stacking up to 6 times. Its base speed is 35% of Aglaea's, so it's probably going to start at like 60-ish speed, and the maximum speed being about 380 plus, depending on your build. SimStitch also does give 30% additional damage, but it's not really game breaking. Aglaea's skill, on the other hand, is just to summon the Garment Maker, which is useful when the Garment Maker exits the battle or you didn't use her technique. It also 100% advances Garment Maker, which is very useful for helping you stack the speed boost. Now for the juicy part, Aglaea's ultimate can resummon Garment Maker, or if it's already on the field, it will heal it to full. But the most important part is that Aglaea enters the Supreme Stance and immediately takes action. This is kind of like Firefly or Robin's ultimate, where it has a countdown on the action bar, which will be 100 action value, so a slightly shorter duration. During this period of time, the Garment Maker is immune to crowd control, but she will self-destruct at the end of it, so you have to rebuild your stacks if you didn't use your ultimate before it ended. Supreme Stance also enhances Aglaea's basic attack, and she now benefits from the stacks of speed Garment Maker has. Instead of 55 speed, each stack will give her 15% speed, so up to 90% speed, and this means that Aglaea can hit 270 plus. And due to her bonus ability, the Myopic's Doom, both Aglaea and the Garment Maker gain a flat attack boost equal to 720% of Aglaea's speed and 360% of the Garment Maker's speed. So again, at max stacks, you can get a massive 3000 plus attack boost for free. Finally, the last important part of the kit is her new enhanced basic attack. I believe it's the first of its kind because it is a joint attack, meaning both Aglaea and Garment Maker attack at the same time, for a total of a 760% attack multiplier. This is why it's such a huge pain to calculate Aglaea's damage, because not only does her damage ramp up with her stacks, this joint attack also has to be calculated separately. Because Memo Sprites are still kind of a new thing, some of you might not be aware that their stats will actually be different in battle due to certain equipment or certain abilities giving a bigger boost to this summon, like Sunday E1. For example, if you use Rutidon Arena that gives a basic attack damage boost, only Aglaea will benefit from it. And this seems to extend to the joint attack. You can't really tell in-game because the damage is combined, but I'm fairly confident this is how it works. I tested it in-game and it was about 1000 damage off, which I believe should be due to some rounding in the game that it does. This is very important to know because it means certain relics or buffs will not boost your damage as much as it normally would. Like the previous example, Rutidon Arena will not give you a 40% boost in total, but only 20%. This is a big part of the reason why team-wide buffs like Robin's ultimate are extremely powerful for Aglaea, or abilities that can target the summon as well, like Sunday's skill and ultimate, because this way, both Aglaea and the Garment Maker can benefit from it, which will give you a bigger increase in damage during joint attacks. Another pretty cool thing about this joint attack is that even though it is considered as a single action, it is counted as 2 attacks. So for enemies with war armor that require a certain number of attacks to reduce it, Aglaea is extremely efficient at reducing these stacks of armor because each joint attack reduces 2 stacks. This also applies to things like Robin's talent, meaning you regenerate 4 energy instead of 2, and even her ultimate damage will be doubled during joint attacks. Facial's ultimate as well, one joint attack is instantly 1 stack for her, when normally a single attack is 0.5 stacks for her. This is also why you can increase your stacks of speed even during the Supreme Stance, because even though Aglaea is performing the action, the Garment Maker is still attacking the target with Sim Stitch. Now for the last few parts of the kit, Aglaea regenerates 20 energy when Garment Maker disappears. the Garment Maker is advanced by 100% when summoned. Aglaea regenerates to 50% maximum energy if her energy is below 50% at the start of the battle. And finally, you can retain one stack of the Garment Maker's speed stacks after it disappears. Basically, what you want to do is to stack Garment Maker's speed as fast as possible and to use Aglaea's ultimate as fast as possible. The stat or the issue that is holding us back from doing whatever we want and spamming Aglaea's ultimate is her energy cap. Her maximum energy is 350, which I believe is the highest in the game right now. Normally, this would mean it would take a long time to use her ultimate without other sources of energy, and unfortunately, outside her ultimate, Aglaea doesn't really do anything. Thankfully, this doesn't make Aglaea bad or cripple her damage output, and this is because of units like Sunday or Hoho and the new enemies with war armor. Both Sunday and Hoho can regenerate 20% maximum energy, and in Aglaea's case, that would be 70 energy. The new enemies also have war armor, and after you hit them a certain amount of times, you can regenerate extra energy, which you will be doing a lot, especially with joint attacks. The new boss, Nikador, also gives you glory, which increases your ERR on top of having war armor. It also really helps that her member sprite is able to regenerate energy for her, whether it be being hit or attacking enemies, with each attack being 10 energy, and with 380 plus speed, it can actually contribute a decent chunk to her energy regeneration. In the two rotations I simulated, without accounting for external energy sources like getting hit, defeating enemies, or breaking war armor, Aglaea has 215 and 275 energy respectively after using her ultimate. On the next turn, both Hoho and Sunday will have their ultimate again, which means Aglaea will have her ultimate immediately after it ends. In fact, when you account for external energy sources, it is even possible for Aglaea to use her ultimate even before it ends, and you don't even need both Sunday and Hoho to do this. I think it's going to be a lot harder to play if you don't have either Hoho or Sunday, but it's perfectly playable with just one of them. I mean, the Japanese livestream even showcases Aglaea without Hoho, but with Lingsha instead. That honestly doesn't do anything for Aglaea, and they still get their ultimate back very quickly. The reason why I'm telling you this is because Aglaea does basically no damage outside of her ultimate, but a disgusting amount of damage during her ultimate, so we're concerned about her ultimate uptime, and hence why her DPAV or damage per action value is around 20,000 due to her high ultimate uptime, which for reference is better than some of the best teams we currently have in the game at E0S1. In reality or in game, because it is possible to use her ultimate again before it ends, this will retain all 6 of your speed stacks, and hence you still get the huge 3000 plus attack boost, which is why her DPAV should actually be even higher in game. Obviously damage is one thing, and Aglaea has a lot of it, but Honkai Star Rail is not all about damage, it's also quite a lot about control, damage efficiency, and how your characters are used. And this is another big reason why I like Aglaea's damage output, because of her high frequency and slightly smaller multipliers. This is why I said in the previous video Aglaea feels like a mix between the Hunt and Destruction. Aglaea is really quite versatile because she does 3 target damage, but she also has the highest frequency in the game to push her flexibility even more. And this is why Aglaea will be pretty strong in most game modes, kind of like Yunli. Most likely still slightly worse in Pure Fiction, but more comfortable and probably also faster in Apocalyptic Shadow and Memory of Chaos. Hence, when it comes to pool value, Aglaea is definitely really high up there, but only if you have at least Sunday or Hoho. The best would be if you have Sunday and Robin due to Aglaea and Robin's insane synergy. I've seen some people say that you should just skip Aglaea because Casteris will just completely power creep her anyways, but there obviously isn't a lot of information on Casteris, and I would like that information as well. Personally, I think if Casteris completely power creeps Aglaea, like makes her useless, most teams in the game will just be completely rubbish, since Aglaea is she's really strong. She's better than some of the best teams, so I find it quite hard to believe that that will be the extent of power creep happening. It definitely can be scary that certain characters will come out and just be much stronger than previous teams, but I don't believe Aglaea will be power creeped that much, since there is also a pretty good chance they want to be used for different scenarios, and also a pretty good chance you can use different supports in the future. This is because Aglaea's teams can still be improved. She is so fast that sometimes even Sunday's buff can run out. So if she gets a future unit that has a team-wide buff based on their own turns instead of the target's turns, kind of like Robin, the uptime can be even higher, which will give Aglaea more damage. Aglaea's flexibility and control is also obviously a huge merit, allowing for better or faster clears in quite a lot of content depending on how good you are at using her. So whether you skip Aglaea for Casteris, I won't really blame you, but if you do pull Aglaea, she is still very strong. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this Aglaea pre-release analysis. My guide for her should be out next week, and of course if you enjoyed, don't forget to like or even subscribe. See you.